So let's jump to 2020.
Okay.
You're Speaker of the House in Arizona. You've been campaigning with Trump. You voted for Trump. The results come in, Arizona goes to Biden, and you get a phone call from President Trump and Giuliani. What happened?
Well, I got the phone call. The chair, the president of the Senate had called and said, hey, the White House is looking for us. Don't do anything without me. Let's make sure we're correlating. And I said, yeah, great. White House, calling. They gave me the pitch. You're a great guy, great speaker. We've admired you from afar. Have you heard that line before? And I said, after they kind of got through all, they said, where are we going? What's going on? I said, well, we've got all this fraud going nationwide and in Arizona. I said, well, let's just talk about Arizona. 4,000 stolen military ballots, 14,000 dead people voted, 200,000 illegals voted, and I said, stop. Where are we going with this? Where are we going? Where are we going? And they said, well, if there's sufficient doubt in your mind, we're hoping that you will call the legislature back in and that you will let us prove with this that these things are sufficient to cause doubt about the election and that you can stop that election, that you can pull those electors from Mr. Biden and put in Mr. Trump's. So I said, hold on. I took an oath. I took an oath to the Constitution. If you have proof that there is fraud, I got to see the proof. I'm under the same obligation to act if you have proof that I would, also an equal obligation to act if you don't have proof. The actions are in two different directions. But you got to have the proof. Have you got the proof of 4,000 stolen military? Yes. You got the names of the service people who had their ballots stolen? Yes. Have you got the names of the 14,000 dead people that voted? Yes. Have you got the names of 200,000 illegals? Yes. Then, Mr. Giuliani, I want those names and police put them on my desk. Because you don't have the proof. I'm not doing this. I've never heard of any such scheme.
Had that call, and pretty much the next step was for Giuliani to come back and give you some proof. So what happened next?
He came to town, so they put on this hearing, and I listened to part of it. And then he came to the Senate, Giuliani, and they said, Mr. Speaker, we need you to come over to the Senate because Mr. Giuliani's here and wants to see it. I said, do I have to go? He said, well, it's kind of Speaker, the President, she's asking us. If the President's asking, then I'll go. So I went, walked in, and there's Giuliani and Jenna Ellis, I think the lady's name, and some other people. And then there was the police chief of New York City, former, and some others. And they were talking deep in it, and Mr. Lynch and another one of the senators was just ripping them in half. And you're saying, I thought we were all Republicans here. We should all just get along and that we would be helpful. I said, time out. Mr. Giuliani, did you bring the proof? And he said, proof? I said, the proof. Do you remember our phone call? And you said you would bring me the proof. And he said, yeah, Jenna, did you bring the proof? And she goes, yeah. She starts going through some big valise thing. Oh, I don't have it here. It must. I said, do you remember what the proof is? The names of all those people. You were going to bring that to me. Oh, yeah. I think it's back at the hotel. I'm out of here. Thank you. That's the end of this conversation. And Giuliani, I don't know if it's a slipper one, but he said, we have lots of theories, but we don't have any evidence. Whoa. You got lots of theories, but no evidence. That's telling.